So here at ASCO 2024, we're presenting on behalf of the CARTITUDE-4 investigators the subgroup analysis of that trial for patients with one prior line of therapy. So CARTITUDE-4 was a trial that enrolled patients who had myeloma that was refractory to lenalidomide and had been previously exposed to a proteasome inhibitor, and randomized those patients to either a standard of care regimen, which was DPD or PVD at the investigator's choice, or that same regimen used as a bridging therapy and leading into an infusion of Ciltacabtagene after proper lymphodepletion therapy. Overall, the study was a highly positive study and supported the approval in the US and other jurisdictions of Ciltacabtagene as a therapy for patients with 1 to 3 prior lines of therapy. So in this abstract, we're really zooming in the patients with one prior line of therapy, including the patients who have what we call functional high-risk disease, which is myeloma that progresses within 18 months of the initial therapy or within 18 months of the autologous transplant. And in this analysis, we saw that the Ciltacabtagene outperformed the standard of care in terms of frequency of responses, depth of responses, particularly MRD negative responses, and that translates into a substantial improvement in progression-free survival. And that was with a hazard ratio of 0.35 for patients with one prior line of therapy. But when you look at patients with functional high risk, that impact was even greater with a hazard ratio of 0.27. When you look at safety profile, the frequency of grade 3 or higher adverse events and the frequency of severe adverse events was very similar between the Ciltacabtagene and the standard of care arm. And the safety profile of Ciltacabtagene that was seen was very in line with what we know for the overall study, with most patients having CRS, but very infrequently grade 3 or higher CRS, very infrequently ICANS, and very infrequently having other delayed neurotoxicity. So this data is very important as we brace with the reality that we now have Ciltacabtagene approved for patients with one prior line of therapy as long as they are exposed to a PI and lenalidomide refractory. So I think we are reassessing our practices and see how to best utilize that agent. And of course, those patients with functional high risk are perceived as having a great unmet need. And this study confirms that for those patients, there is a substantial, robust benefit of Ciltacabtagene over standard of care. But also show that the benefit is not limited to those functional high-risk patients. The same or very similar magnitude of benefit is seen throughout all the patients with one prior line of therapy. And that really adds some important efficacy and safety data that myeloma physicians like myself are going to use when they discuss with the patients the potential impact of Ciltacabtagene as compared to other options that they have available.